Hello everybody. So I said I was going to share my crochet and I just it's getting cold and this house feels cold a lot. I don't know why, but it just seems a little harder to get it warm. It's got a really tall ceiling, and maybe that's why they say hot air rises. And I just wonder if that's what it is. I don't know, but it seems like it just has a hard time warming up. I mean, it's not as cold as outside, obviously, but anyways, I just thought, I just want just a small throw Afghan to have on the couch, not a blanket or anything big or bulky or just something I can toss over me real quick and easy. And so I took my granddaughter to Hobby Lobby and she picked the yarn. And I'll be honest with you, I don't normally, I'm a solid color kind of girl, I guess. I like to keep things simple. And I usually do not pick a variated, and especially this much variation. But she did, and sometimes I look at it and I think, oh, how pretty. And I'm like, that right there just looks really pretty to me. So sometimes I look at it and I think, oh, how pretty. And sometimes I look at it and I think, whoa, there's so much going on in this. This was how much I did in a day. And I'm going to explain to you. So I learned to crochet really young. I'm honestly couldn't tell you how old I was. I was young. And all I learned was the stitches. I didn't learn the abbreviations. I couldn't read a pattern. I still, to this day, cannot read a pattern. I read it and kind of guess at it, and it gets done with my own spin, and sometimes it turns out, and sometimes it doesn't. And one day, I seen this older woman, and we're talking, oh, I don't know, 20-something years ago, maybe 30 years ago. And she had made this zigzag thing here. And I thought, that's cool. And she was just going to town. And it wasn't taking her any time at all to do it. And I was like, wow, that's cool. How do you do that? And she said, you add stitches where you want the peak. And then you lose those stitches where you want it down, but you have to do it even. And that was it. So I went home and thinking to myself, do it even. Okay. What did she mean by I have to do it even? And through trying it and a lot of, attempts, I realized she meant that you have to have as many stitches going up and down. You add stitches, you take those same many stitches out. So I know there are other ways to do this, but the reason I want to share this is anybody that's in the space that I was can do this. Anybody. If you can crochet a simple stitch, you can do this pattern. And so you do your crochet stitches. This one is 14 on the 15th. On the 15th stitch, I put 3 stitches. So basically I added 2 stitches, right? One on this side, one on this side. And then this one goes even with that stitch. So I counted 14 and then did 3 stitches. Then I counted 14. Now I have to skip the 2 extra stitches. So I skip 2 stitches and go into the third one. I count the 14, do 3 stitches, count the 14, skip 2, count the 14. The thing is that After a couple rows, you don't need to count anymore. You can see where it is. It's very obvious. So you don't even have to pay attention. You can just crochet away. Now I know there are other ways to do this where you make bigger stitches and smaller stitches and your stitch size changes, and it might be a little neater look. You don't have the hole or whatever, but this is simple, and this is something anybody can do. If you can crochet, you can do this. So I've got the variated. Something that I find useful is I used to always do this. Whenever I was done for the moment, for whatever reason you have to stop, I would have my needle in, and I would take and kind of weave it through and do all that, so I didn't have to worry about it unraveling. Not bright. So if you're a new crocheter and nobody has told you yet, just pull that up. Just pull that string out. You have a large string now, and there you go. You don't have to worry about it. But I do want to just do a quick demonstration for anybody trying it out. So I like to take my yarn from the center. I like to find, see, so that's not going to be from the center. That is the end. I want to find, watch me not be able to find it. Here it is. It works so much better this way. I remember when I started, I used to roll the balls. That's too much work, and you don't need to do that. And I didn't know you didn't need to do that. If you want to know what the color is, name 428 plums. Yeah. And I went with the needle that they suggested, the I9. It's on here. I9. You may not be able to see it on there. I9. Okay. But anyway, so pull your string from, I wrap my yarn around my hand. I take, and I just wrap this around a couple of times. And then I start my stitch. So if you've never done it, your stitch is just, you've got that loop. Now wrap your needle and come down and through. Now you got a loop, you're just going to do that. Wrap your needle and come through. Wrap that around your needle. Wrap that around your needle. Wrap that around your needle. Wrap it around your needle. Wrap it, and just keep going until you get as many as you need. And honestly, I don't count. Some of them are going to tell you to count, 100 and something, 200, whatever. I just go by how long I want the thing to be. I add a few extra, and I make, my thing. And I guess I'm kind of a lazy crocheter. Okay, so wrap. Bring your needle through, wrap it, bring it through the hole, wrap it, bring it, hold the loop, wrap it, bring it through the loop, bring it through, so bring it through, bring it through. I'm just going to show you real quick how I do mine. How I did this, and I'm just going to do a small piece so that you can see how I did it. Okay, so now I take 2 stitches, skip 1. So 1, 2, skip this one, and go in this one. I am going to wrap one around, put it through the loop, hook that yarn, bring it through the loop, and then I'm going to go through 2 and 2 more. Okay? Some of them will say that your 2 chains count for a stitch. Some of them don't, it depends. With this pattern that I do, I don't count it. And I'll show you what I get because I don't count it. See my kind of loopy ends? But that works with the zigzag. Okay, so there's one. Now here's another thing. Some people are only, well, let me get through this, and then we'll discuss that. So bring it through, and so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We'll stop at 10. We're not going to stop at 10. We're going to add 3 in this chain. So we're going to go 1 stitch, 2 stitches, and 3 stitches. Okay. Then now we need to count 10 again. So 1, 2. Okay. I'm going to bring it up. Some are going to ask, how many strands of yarn should I put it in? This one that I'm doing here, I only did in 1, the top strand. On this one, I did it in 2. So right now, I'm doing this, and I'm just coming through 1 strand and doing my stitch. Okay? On this one, I came through, and I put it through 2 stitches. I don't know that it matters. Just my thought is, if you're going to do it through 1 strand, leave it that way through your whole, whatever you're making. If you're going to go through 2, leave it that way. Okay? Some people say that if you do it, to do it through 2 because it makes it stronger. I don't know if it does or not. It's yarn. I don't I think if the yarn's going to give, it's going to give whether you put it through 2 or not. It means it's pretty old because this stuff lasts a long time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Right here. Okay, so I did 10 and added 3. Now I did 10 and I'm gonna skip 2. 1, 2, and come through here and do my stitch. Another thing that I have seen through time is, so I wrap it around, I come through 1. Is that what I was doing? Yeah. Some people don't like that either. They want you to come through. So you wrap it around, you come through. They want you to come through too. And that, to me, is a different stitch. That's like a 1.5 or something. This, I think, is a double. I think that's what they're called. But don't quote me on that because I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the stitches that well. So I skip the 2, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So I did my 10. It looks really wonky. So it's going to probably look a little weird because I'm not ending the way I'm starting, but I just want to do this real small so I can show you how I do it if you're just learning or you don't know and you've never done it and you want to try. Might as well start out easy is the way I look at it. So you got this tail here. Some people will be exact. They've counted it and figured it out. They know how many stitches. I'm always left with a tail. You're just going to work it back through when you're done. So now I'm going to do 2 stitches. Okay. Flip it around. I'm going to skip a stitch and start my 10 again. Okay. That's how I end mine. And so now you're just going to... Okay, wait a minute. Let me undo this because... Let me say this. So because I did just 1, I should do just 1 here. You come through 1. You come through. And there you go. And that is prettier. When you're done, you end up with these lines from the thread you didn't go through. So always make sure you go through the string at the front. If you're only doing 1, go through the string at the front. Always don't come back here and grab this one, you're going to end up with a mess. You always come to the one that's at the front. Okay? And then when you turn it, you stick with the one that's at the front. Don't go to the back one, even though you'll think, well, I want it to be the same, so I'm going to go through that back one. See that little line? So the next time I come, I'm going to end up going through this one, and I'll have that little line on this side. Here's the thing. This is where I feel like if I'm in a hurry and I want to get it done quicker, I'm going through both. I'm going through both because it's easy to find that hole. And I'm not messing with the string. And I don't even have to look as I'm crocheting. I'm just crocheting, and it just goes. It just, you just got to pay attention to where your spots are, the two that you want to skip, right? So there's my hole. So these two are the ones I want to skip. And I'm going to go. Now, it's faster, and I do feel like this strengthens the project. This is prettier this way. Easier, maybe stronger. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. And then I'm going to keep crocheting. I hope I'm making myself clear and not confusing anybody, because it really is easy to crochet. And this, I'm showing this one because it really is easy. And honestly, it is easier than straight. Because it's easier to keep track of your ends. I have a hard time knowing where to start, where to end. Do I add, I mean, you just have to really be paying attention. And a lot of times I'm watching TV or whatever and not really paying attention. And it's just easy this way to come out with an even end. So I've got my 3 now. So I didn't count, but I just can see where the 3. So the first one's getting a regular. The middle one of the 3 is where I'm going to put 3. And 3. And now I'm just going to continue on. And when you get to the last one, you do want to count. Believe me. Because it'll throw you if you don't. So you don't have to count every single one. You just know when you're getting closer to the end to count. I'm at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And you're going to think, whoa, That's a lot left behind. I'm going to do my 2, flip it, do that, skip 1, and come in here. Okay. You think that's a lot left behind, and it looks odd, especially at the beginning. But here's what happens. Here's what you get on your ends when you do it that way. You get, it's kind of an edging on there. You see? Now for when you have tail left, if you look, I crocheted right over my tail was big enough that I just crocheted right over it. I just put it inside the crochet. You can weave it through if you can't do that. So I don't worry about it. I just weave it in or whatever. But so that's how I get that edge. Anyways, back to where we were. That edging, you can see every time that looks really weird where I started from where I was. It looks like I'm skipping, but it's actually an even edge. There is nothing, let me see this. So this is small. I wanted a small one. It's very small. I just wanted to be able to throw it over me real quick. But I just want to show you how even this is. See? See how that folded? If that was not even, it would not have folded nicely. You would see this going this way or that way or whatever, but it is a nice even. So for me, this is even easier than just doing straight shot because I don't have to worry about my edges. Okay, so that's it. That's just what I wanted to do, just a quick, really, I don't think a beginner is going to pick this up from what I just showed. And if you're a beginner, try to find and learn from, I gotta undo this now, from somebody that knows, somebody that can teach you the abbreviations for the patterns, because I really do wish I knew that stuff. And now I just feel like, I did one time, I was able to follow a shell pattern. It was awesome. And I loved it. Now this, for the one I'm making, and it's, like I said, it's pretty small. This is a skein. This size. So I'm going to need, I don't know how many skeins. It's really hard to say because you think you know. But then I always seem to end up with too much. But they only had, I knew I wasn't getting enough. But they only had 5. So I might end up having to do, I'm going to do another skein of this. And I might have to add a skein of something else and then do 2 skeins and a skein, and I don't know. I don't know yet. Because this one does have a lot number. So if you don't know about buying yarn, this has a lot number. And that's for the dye. And so if you get a different lot number, your colors can be different. Sometimes it's not noticeable, sometimes it is. Some yarns don't have lot numbers. But even those can vary. Even though they say they don't, those are usually pretty good. But sometimes there is a little bit of difference. But I'm thinking these colors with all these variants in here, maybe I can get a different lot number and it won't matter. What I'll do is take a skein with me. I probably should have maybe I won't go any farther. Yeah. Okay, so I'll do 2 skeins. Bring in another one. Then do 1 skein, bring in the other one, and then do 2 skeins to end. That might be all right. Unless, yeah, you're not going to find the same knot number probably anywhere. All right, everybody. I don't know. I'm talking like trying to think through my mind and saying it out loud. Not a good thing. All right, everybody. If you like my video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you join me again. Bye-bye now.